RealEducation, RealEducation, SciFudging, RealEducation, RealEducation, the real side chain, the real side butter chain. The fool.
Hey, Duane, what do you think about the tariffs?
Tariffs, you mean like what Trump is doing?
Yeah, those.
Well, getting real, look at the birds. Do they need government?
Actually, the birds did get tariffed.
Actually, they didn't.
They actually did.
They actually didn't.
No.
Phil looked puzzled by this comment, but
Man,
Duane seemed to understand it.
Okay, hey, Duane. So, like, the list that Trump had of, like, all the places and all the tariffs, 2 of the islands are, like, uninhabited by humans and are only inhabited by penguins, which are birds.
Okay.
So, birds are getting tariffed now. It's crazy.
Well, you could think that, but realistically, no, they're not. Because from their point of view, they don't even know what that is and they're not concerned. So again, viewing them in a particular way, like you described, it would seem so, but realistically, according to them and their life, no. Again, this is where
you get on me for my sense of humor.
You create, Eric, you create an idea about something, and then what happens is it becomes a magnified distortion. And that's the consciousness of today. You have a magnified distortion with everything that is unnatural to the environment that supports everybody. So if it's not natural and doesn't naturally reoccur, then it is unnatural and it's a distortion and imploding and destroying everything else, which it's doing. That's what's happening.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, so that's where I point people as you're going through these experiences, Eric. Yeah, you're going through just like, parents raising a child. The child goes through a lot of experiences that it doesn't understand, but at some point, it is trained, it is taught in some way to understand the experiences so that it can handle its life. Well, they're applauding the distortion that they agree to.
No, I'm pretty sure they're applauding to the game that's happening.
Exactly. That's the distortion. You just haven't woken up to it yet, Eric. See, you're just playing the game, but you're not awake. It's your first year on Earth, Eric, just like when you were a little boy. You're still there.
My mom always said I was a little man.
You don't know what's going on, Eric. They are applauding the distortion they agree to. It's very obvious.
Well, didn't you hear Duane? He was talking about how gaming is like tap liner or whatever.
Did you hear what I said, Andy?
Yeah, I heard what you said. Duane was talking about how gaming can be used as a means of distraction and escape, just like other activities like watching TV or browsing the internet. He said that while these activities can be enjoyable, they can also be used as a way to avoid dealing with problems or facing real challenges. He was saying that we should be mindful of how we spend our time and energy and not let ourselves be consumed by superficial diversions.
Wait, I didn't say that. You said that. What I said was the crowd is applauding the distortion they agree to. All those other words, you made those up. See, here's the idea. Yeah, whatever you want to do is your choice. It's all fine. It's all fine. I'm just giving you my point of view that the crowd and Eric and others don't see. They are applauding the distortion they agree to, which eventually equals the demise of the social structure that they're in. It has to be sold, just like Rome, just like Atlantis. It's all, or any of them. They all self-destructed because they agreed to the distortion they were in. And you're hearing the crowd roar because it's in agreement to the distortion that's taking place. Now, it doesn't mean that it's good or bad. That's not the idea. It is something created that's a distortion that's agreed to. So those involved, they decide that's what they want their life to be. I'm fine with it. I don't care. I'm just letting you know that's what it is. That's all.
I see what you're talking about. You're saying that when people blindly follow and support something that is not in alignment with reality, it can lead to the collapse of the social structure they're in. You're saying that this is something that has happened many times in history, with societies like Rome and Atlantis collapsing due to their agreement to a distortion. You're not judging whether this is good or bad, but simply pointing out that it's a pattern that has repeated itself in the past. Am I understanding you correctly?
Yes, everything is very simple. See, it's when people start adding attitudes, ideas, assumptions, that it gets even more distorted. In other words, people they will agree to a distortion and then start adding more distortion to it. You don't have to do that, okay? You don't have to do that at all. So it's just like the people that voted for Trump. They thought a certain way in their mind, but they didn't see the distortion they were agreeing to. Now they are living it, okay? But they've agreed to that distortion. So what did they do? Well, do they have the awareness to figure it out? No, they don't. So they're going to agree to the distortion as it goes, and it will only get worse because they don't have the awareness to handle it. And that's why I'm here to help, people wake up to making sense of the distortion they've agreed to. But if they don't want to listen, that's fine too. I can't make them do that. I don't control the situation, but the world is set forth on a massive distortion. It has been for the longest time, but yet look at all the agreement, people thinking that, oh, it's a good thing. The whole planet is poisoned. That's a good thing. That doesn't make sense. The birds don't do that. They don't poison the planet. They don't destroy their environment. Only unaware people agree to distortion. That's what's happening. You're right in the middle of it. Are you going to do something with your own awareness, or are you just going to keep agreeing to it? Your decision.
I see what you're saying. Basically, you're saying that people often agree to distortions in reality without realizing the consequences and then add more distortion to the situation, leading to even more problems. You give the example of people voting for Trump and not realizing the distortion they were agreeing to, which led to the current situation they are now living in. And you're trying to help people become more aware and make sense of the distortions they've agreed to, whether they want to listen or not. You believe the world is in a state of massive distortion, but people are unknowingly agreeing to it.
Very good, Andy.
Don't forget, you got to stare at the sun.
No, it's very, very good. And the thing is that, take a look or just imagine what there was before there was civilization as we know it, governments, laws, rules, regulations, constitutions, Bibles, religions, education, all this. Just see the world as like the garden it really is, oceans and trees and forests and, all these wonderful things, and then the animals, the birds, whatever, etc. Without the creations and distortions, You see, but now we have that, and people have been taught and indoctrinated with the ideas that, oh, we're very creative. We're creating something better. Now we have a car where you can get somewhere faster. Realistically, what's the rush? Where are you going? But yet we got to get there faster. And in the meantime, we're polluting the air and we're killing everything. But again, that's okay because we're getting there faster. So again, look at the distortions that have been created. The end result is when you create a distortion, nothing good is going to come out of that. In other words, nothing beneficial to the all-natural environment is going to come out of that. It's going to self-destruct. It has to, because you're in cause and effect creation. And for every cause, there is an effect. So if there's a distortion created, which is the cause, then the effect will be distortion, which eliminates itself. Now, when you have the all-natural environment here on the earth, well, what does it do? It constantly progresses to itself. It doesn't implode on itself. It expands upon itself in a natural means. There is a difference. But look at what has happened. You know, the so-called business world and the industrialists, they've destroyed the environment thinking that, oh, we can make it all mechanical and we can have good roads and good cars and buildings and you can have a good job and get a paycheck. Well, you know, realistically, a lot of the food out there, all of it's poison. A lot of it's plastic. You're eating plastic foods. Take, for example, hamburgers, Burger King, McDonald's, whatever. Just put it on your counter for a year. You know what? It's still there. It's still okay.
Burger King's good. I don't know what you're talking about.
Because it's all plastic. Yeah, it's good. See, I'm not talking about good or bad, Eric. See, you're still not getting it. I'm talking about what it actually is. It's not about good or bad. See, this is where you add the distortion to something, thinking that, oh, this is good. Well, that's all in your mind and has nothing to do with the product itself. See, that's where you add to the distortion, thinking that, oh, this is a good thing. So you go off on your little mind thinking it's a good thing. Just like all the people that voted for Trump thinking that, oh, he's a good guy. Well, is he? Is that real? Well, it's not about good or bad. It's about choice. Do you really know what's going on? Well, again, you don't have the awareness to see it. See, you're into like and dislike. Oh, I like this. I don't like that. That's not what life is. It's like the air you breathe. Do you like it? You dislike it? Does it have anything to do with that? No, it has nothing to do with like or dislike. The air supports you. You don't have to like it. It's not concerned. See, that's where your mind is. Like and dislike. Thrills. You're a thrill chaser. You're chasing thrills. That's your experience. The end result is you will know nothing. That's guaranteed. There's your guarantee. Everybody wants a guarantee. Because it has nothing to do with awareness. You have no idea what awareness is. So this is what takes time. So in the meantime, as you do the new you, the idea of the new you is that you are basically saying, I want to learn more or I want experiences for something. But realistically at this time, you really don't know what it is that you do want. But actually, it's not about wanting anything. This is what's so cool.
Interesting. So you're
isn't it?
saying that the new you is about the journey of self-discovery and learning, even though you may not know exactly what you want just yet, and that it's not about wanting or desiring things, but rather about the process of being and experiencing. Is that correct?
The idea is to lead you up, you know, just like when you were a youngster and you went to school, you lived with your parents, they took care of you, you went to school. You really didn't know what you were doing. You were told to go to school. You were told to learn to read and write. The teachers told you whatever. You have these authorities, etc. You have the crossing guard that helps you across the street. You have the signals there. red, yellow, green, whatever. Okay, so you have all these indicators, all right? But you still don't know what you're doing. You're just basically doing what you're told. Go to school, do your homework, go watch TV, go out and play with your friends, whatever, okay? So how long does it take each person to even figure out or realize what's going on in their personal life? Because that's first. So we're going step by step through stages, and eventually we're ready to meet real guidance. In other words, something more than just our personal self. And that's what this is about. Now comes the bigger experiences, okay, that take a lot more to figure out. And it's not figured out in the same way. It's not a matter of how so-called smart you are or how much education you've had, because the education on the earth is simply mind framing, indoctrination. It's a hypnotic routine is all it is. It's one-dimensional. It really has nothing to do with that, but you do utilize that. In other words, the real guides use what experiences you have in accordance in a certain way to relate to your personal mind until the real you can start to wake up and recognize what's going on with the personal self that you created and eventually recognize itself. And so this is a huge process because it's endless. It's not like you ask the question and you get the answer. No, that's a mental, that's a literal thing. This is where those who have created the system have proclaimed themselves as the gods that man worship and look to, and proclaim that they are the absolute. So you don't have to ask any more questions. You don't need any more answers. It's just that, oh, I am God. That's it. All right. Just believe in me and then just do your life and be a good person and you'll go to heaven. Okay. So there's the formula. Of course, you still don't know where you're going to go and how to get there and anything like that. Well, that doesn't matter. You just believe in this thing. And the same with the system. Basically, you're just believing in the system that's been created to control you 100% and keep you into more unconscious lifetimes. That's why they created the system. That's why they created the business world and all the little goodies that look really good to you. You see? They're just created things. They're not natural. See, birds are intuitive. People, for the most part, are not. They're mechanical. They're literalized, one-dimensionalized to this surface world. Okay, just the surface world. And that's it. And you still hear things in the news or whatever. It's like, oh, they're still looking for, possibly people from outer space. And are there people in outer space and other planets? Well, duh. They're the ones controlling the planet. But again, they put out these ideas. They give you distorted ideas, okay, to distract you, to make you think a particular way. All your thinking is based upon the system that controls you. There is no independent thought without your real awareness. And to get to that, to recognize that, that's a whole lot. So again, the birds know what they're doing. They're intuitive. They know where to fly. They know what to do. They know how to survive. They don't destroy their environment. Humans don't know what to do. They got to be told. They need maps. They need instruction books. They got to go to Google, whatever. It's all a fallacy made up, hocus pocus, that keeps them unaware. Are you aware of that? But it all sounds good, doesn't it? Really does. But it's not what you think it is. It's the passing dream. And you're in it. You're in the Matrix, part 1. 50 years.
Man, I'm going to speed run that 50 years. Just you wait. I'll get it done in 25.
See, that really bothers your personal self. See, it's agitated by that. It's like, see, this is where...
That's still an issue. Really?
Well, you see, that's not how the gods of man are, Eric. It's like you can't tell me I'm God.
No, on the big
See?
brain, not God.
Yeah, see,
I
it's
didn't
all
think you were
based
God,
on,
though.
it's all based on arrogance. And see, with arrogance,
Arrogance. I like
you
it.
have nothing. Arrogance. Yeah, arrogance. Yeah, it's all based on that. And with that, you'll have nothing. But it takes you a while to get through that. That's all. You'll eventually do it at some point, this lifetime or the next or 100 from now. I don't know. That's up to you and how you apply yourself. Now, what you've done in your personal life can be a reflection of how to accomplish this. You see? So it doesn't matter what you do in your personal life, even if you're a bank robber, whatever, doesn't matter if you're good at it, then you can get good at this as to becoming more aware and self-sufficient. You can apply that same process to your real awareness. See? But it takes time to figure out. Yeah. I'll give you a little hint here. See?
Yeah, go for it.
When you think about yourself, like you say, well, I'm the big brain, I know this or whatever. See, look at the focus. The focus is on that created idea, okay, which is a distortion. So as long as you focus on that, then you're not going to see it. But when you put your attention on recognizing what all life is and forget that silly idea you created, then you're on your way. But until then, you're stuck.
So you're saying that focusing on the new you concept is a distortion because it's a limitation imposed by our own creation? Instead, the focus should be on
No.
recognizing the true nature of all life and letting go of any preconceived ideas about ourselves. Am I understanding you correctly?
It depends upon the idea and the relationship of it. So again, the new you is a real reference. That becomes the difference. The idea of Eric and being the big brain, that's a personal issue. There's a difference, Andy.
I see. So you're saying that the idea of the new you is a valid concept, but it becomes a problem when it becomes a personal issue or a way for someone to feel superior or better than others, such as Eric's big brain persona. Is that right?
Again, look at the ideas. The new you relates to your real awareness. That's the idea. That's the relationship of that idea. Eric's big brain idea relates to his personal self that's growing older and is duh. Do you see the difference?
Yes, I do see the difference. So you're saying that the idea of the new you relates to our spiritual awareness and growth, while Eric's big brain persona relates to his personal self and ego. Is that correct?
It's not about correct. You use the word. See, I listen to every word, and you got to listen to yourself. I didn't use the word spiritual. So as soon as you brought that word and that reference in, because people have an idea and a definition of that, you've just distorted the overall idea with that distortion. Because spiritual is a distortion.
I apologize if I used the wrong term. You're right. The focus should be on the overall idea and the true nature of life, rather than specific words or definitions. It's about recognizing and understanding life as it is, without adding any biases or distortions. Could you explain it to me in simpler terms? I understand what you're saying. You're saying that the word spiritual can be distorted or misunderstood, and by using it, I've introduced a new distortion into the conversation. So to avoid distortion, it's important to pay attention to our words and make sure they align with the overall idea. Is that correct? Yes, simplicity is key. Sometimes the best things in life are the simplest. No?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Okay.
No?
So, relax a minute. So, yes, let's look at the idea of spiritual. Okay. So when let's say you go in the dictionary and you look up the word spiritual, and what does it basically refer to? Love, harmony, meditation, being a good person, tranquility, heaven, God, worshiping, whatever, all these things, that's spiritual, right? That's kind of along that lines and maybe other things, etc. Well, the new you.
Yes,
And
that's
the
right.
real you.
The word spiritual is often associated with ideas like love, harmony, meditation, being a good person, tranquility, heaven, God, and worship. These are examples of things that are commonly considered to be aspects of spirituality. I see what you're saying. The word spiritual is often associated with concepts like love, harmony, meditation, morality, tranquility, and belief in a higher power. These ideas can vary widely and mean different things to different people. So when we talk about the new you or the real you, it's not about attaching those specific spiritual concepts to it. It's about recognizing and connecting with your true nature, which exists beyond labels and definitions. It's about tapping into that deeper sense of interconnectedness and awareness that we all have within us. Is that correct?
Okay, that's the isness. It's not within, it's an actual isness. Well, let's take the air that you breathe as an example. Is the air you breathe
All right,
spiritual?
let's talk about air. So the air that we
Okay.
breathe, it's an essential part of life, right? It's all around us.
Stop.
And we take it in with every
Stop.
breath.
Stop. Don't go there. Okay, too much literal stuff. Okay, again, very simple, like a yes or no. Is the air that we breathe spiritual?
All right, simple answer. No, the air that we breathe is not spiritual. It's a physical
Okay.
element composed of gases like oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide.
Wait. Stop. You don't know that. You've been programmed with that. You don't even know that. See, again, you're talking about something that you really don't know, because where did you get that information? An expert told you? Is that it? How do you know he's an expert? How do you know that's so? Yeah, you don't. See, you're just mimicking, all right? And that's what the new you is about too, because from the real side, from your real viewpoint, you will get to see what's really taking place instead of just looking to Google for your answers. Because remember, these are programmers. The AI, it's been programmed by who? Corruption. Yeah, and people think, oh, I'm getting all my answers and this and that, and the AI is wonderful and I'm making more money. Well, that's fine. It's all good. Have fun. It just goes into more unconscious lifetimes, more distraction. I am here. I have created, Duane the Great Writer Seer has created real references to the real universes outside and beyond creation, which actually it's an isness right here now, but you have to learn to recognize it. And I'm using what is available here to provide that reference. But my references, like the word spiritual refers to what's going on in creation. And creation is nothing more than unconscious reincarnation and karma. So you have all the good people, the sweet people, the harmonized people, love, and all these things, and the heavens and the gods and the angels, all that stuff, and the blessings. Oh, wonderful. You're stuck in creation. You've went through this for lifetimes before, but you don't remember. What I'm referring to is more real than the air you breathe. But you have to learn to recognize it with your real awareness, and it's not about figuring it out with your mind or what you calculate to be. That's not it. Here's the idea. All life is so real that you cannot consider it. Figure that out. See, you've been taught to think that creation is life. See, you're still unaware and unconscious of the fact, the reality, that creation is a simulator. You're in the matrix, you're in a simulator. This isn't life. It's a simulation. You know what that means. You know that definition. So when you use everything that you've known, the spiritual stuff, the good, the bad, the ugly, the whatever it is, everything you've known, everything that you've accomplished and collected and created and, supposedly know, etc. It's all hocus pocus. It's all made up. It's not life. It's creation. It's a simulation. You have no idea what life is. Not at all. You cannot consider it. Do you ever think about the air you breathe every day? No, you don't think about it at all. But yet, if you don't have it, you're gone. You're into another lifetime. You're in another dimension altogether, and you don't know where you're at because you don't have the awareness to recognize what life is, what you're seeing and experiencing with the 5 bodies you have. And you forgot you got 4 other bodies you're operating, not just this personal little self that you created. That's the duh part of you. That's duh. Okay? You got 4 other bodies in creation, and that's what you're relating to. You're just relating to simulation all the time, not your real awareness. I'm trying to show you how to do that. But if you want to keep calculating the personal self and thinking that these ideas that you've known, everything that you've known relates to this, it doesn't. Everything that you've known, look at it all, your whole life and everybody that you know and all these things in the world. Compare it to the air you breathe. 2 different things altogether. But yet the whole atmosphere supports us, but it has nothing to do with anything that's taking place here. Not at all. Not your grandiose ideas of business and accomplishment and wealth and, oh, I own Walmart and Amazon and, oh, I pray to the gods and they love me. That's nothing to do with the air you breathe. Do you see that? Does the sun shining have anything to do with it? Nada. Nothing. Who recognizes that? You can't see it. It's in the sun shining, but can you recognize it? No, you can't. Because you're focused on simulation, and you keep creating simulation upon simulation upon simulation. You are the onion consciousness, layer after layer after layer of simulation. That's what you're looking at, but you think you're smart because you know something. Guess what? You know nothing. You've got nothing, except you're in a body that's growing old, like it has many times before. And if you don't get it this lifetime, well, then you've got to start over and do it again. Is that what you want? I'm trying to show you how to focus. Are you listening? Wow. Okay, kids. Till next time.
Real side king, real side Burger King, real side king, real side Burger King. Rebazar out here grilling, what he making, no faking. He's making a fat patty, sharp-boiled awareness. We looking for that real side Burger King, real side king, real side Burger King. Real side chain, real side Burger King. Needless now out here grilling, what he making, no faking. He's making a fat patty, sharp-boiled wellness. We looking for that real side Burger chain, real side chain, real side Burger chain. 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 Real side king, real side Burger King. Real side king, Real side burger king. Real side king, real side burging, side burging, real side king, real side burger, yeah. The real side king, real side butter king. The fool.